But let me put you on this. You ever been in a situation where someone was being a jerk to you, you clapped back, and then all of a sudden you're the bad guy? Like out of nowhere, you're the one getting accused of something that doesn't align with you? Yeah, that happened to me and a friend of mine in a Call of Duty lobby, and it somehow turned into an argument about objectifying women. Like, okay, like an ogre, the shit's got layers. So I'm playing a match of Call of Duty with the homie, and he and I are matched with this guy with this terrible mic, like just completely dog shit. And I'm talking about like that old Xbox mic with like the one like foam on the earpiece, and it sounds like it's in this dude's mouth. Like every time he talks, it's like an audio jump scare. You remember those deep fried memes where everything's distorted and loud as fuck? That's what the mic sounded like. And my friend in the game says something along the lines of, "What in the Xbox 360 mic am I hearing?" Some shit like that. He just, calling it out. And this guy's friend, a woman, fires back immediately, like rash as fuck, saying, like, if you don't like the microphone, why don't you buy them one? Some shit like that. So my buddy responds with, "Put on a wig and let me bend you over." It was matching the energy that he received. But the confusing part is, they just straight up respond with, "That's objectifying to women." Like, I'm sorry, what the fuck? This happened to me the same day I uploaded a video called "Empathy Isn't Transactional." The whole point of that video is that you should support women because it's the right thing to do, not because you expect something back. And I stand by that. So being told that definitely pissed me off. And I just told them, well, we're not about that life. And they still accused us of objectifying women. A joke is not the same as objectification. Know the difference. Look, let me break this down for you. Put up a finger for every point that I'm about to make. 1. You made a stupid request. You told someone who complained about a bad mic that they should just buy one. You were serious about it, but the request was dumb as fuck, so don't act shocked when you get a non-serious response back. 2. The response wasn't objectifying. I literally asked a woman friend of mine if she thought it was a big deal. She said no. 3. The joke involved putting on a wig. I genuinely don't know what mental gymnastics it takes to go from "put on a wig" to "you're being reduced to your body parts." That's an absolute fucking stretch. That's an Olympic level mental gymnastics stretch. 4. If this ever gets back to you, let's run it back. Nuketown. I want the smoke. 5. Someone can call out how bad your mic sounds without being obligated to buy you a new one. Now that you've got 5 fingers up, slap some sense into yourself. That was a joke. Life isn't a dick, don't take it so hard. Also, the mic started sounding fine at the end of the match. So clearly it works when it wants to. Oh, those guys were TTVs. They had TTV in their username. That explains a lot. When I used to play Dead by Daylight, another game that those streamers play, more often than not, TTV names were insufferable. Tunneling as the killer from viewer request, not taking the game seriously as a survivor, which sucked to play with as another survivor, or against as a killer, especially back before when Decisive Strike was at its peak, or complaining about getting killed by a killer you don't like. TTVs that are Dead by Daylight players are a very specific kind of unsufferable. Somehow being both at the same time made it worse in Call of Duty 2. It's not all of them, but some of the worst players in DBD were TTVs. Here's what I actually want you, the viewer, to take from this. If you're a guy, and this applies to some women too, surprisingly, don't let misandrous stop you from caring about real hardships that women face. Because those hardships are real. I'll be straight with you. When I was younger and more immature, I thought feminists were man-haters. That was ignorant. I grew up, I listened more, I changed my view, I became more supportive, and I stand by that support. Making a joke in a Call of Duty lobby doesn't cancel out that support. Context matters. Here's what misandry actually looks like. When someone posts a moment of silence for men's mental health, and the audio is just air horns and loud music, I don't get the joke. If men's mental health was better, there would be more supporters and fewer offenders. That's not a punchline, that's just perpetuating a problem. Or when you see a post that says, misogyny is hating women, misandry is hating men, and feminism means they're equal. And the comments are filled with lots of women going, proud misandrist. Like, think about how that lands. Think about how that reads to someone you're trying to bring to your side who doesn't know what it's like to wear your shoes. I know the argument misogyny puts women in danger while misandry just hurts men's feelings. I hear you on that. And I understand the impulse to hit back when you've been hit. It's fine to push back on someone that hits you, but not hit them in return, at least in this metaphorical context. But making broad generalizing statements that tear down an entire group of people, that's an overcorrection. There's a difference between calling out bad behavior and demanding it change, which is proper correction, and just mirroring the shittiness back at everyone, which is overcorrection. The only exception is when you're showing bad behaving people exactly how it feels, specifically to make them reflect. That's deliberate. That has a point to it. Trauma doesn't give you a permit to be terrible to people who haven't done anything to you. I'm sorry you've been through it. You know, that shit's real. But it doesn't transfer permission to treat others like shit. Now, on jokes, they're fine. Let me be clear about that. I'm not here to tell you that shit can't be funny. I personally don't make jokes about women. There's just too many of those everywhere. TV, movies, internet. It's like you've heard them all already, whatever. But I can absolutely take jokes about men. And I think if you can't take what you dish out, you're an absolute fucking coward. That goes for everybody. You know, there's a woman comedian, Taylor Tomlinson, who's made a joke on a stand-up about how a man can kill his wife and expect to get away with it, but he wouldn't because he hasn't planned anything in his life. That joke works. It's delivered well. It addresses actual bad behavior, and it makes you think about the stupidity and audacity while you're laughing. There's also another comedian slash YouTuber, Stanzi Potenza, who has a video about male Instacart shoppers. The context being that some of them just do not do the job well. And the context of this is that there's wrong items, bad substitution, grabbing frozen stuff first, stuff that people have actually dealt with in real life. But in her video, titled Male Instacart Shoppers, she opens her order and pulls out a sword and goes, "A sword isn't a substitute for tampons." It's hyperbole, it's funny, and it makes you think, yeah, I've experienced something like that. That's how being funny is supposed to work. Also, I recommend you look at both of these two women's work. It's actually pretty good. Do you see the difference? The joke actually has like a target. Bad behavior, not an entire gender. Also, it's stupid when male comedians joke about women as a gender. I'm talking about you, Chris Rock. That joke about dating a 50-year-old versus dating a 25-year-old was dumb as fuck. I don't care about how much the audience laughed. That shit was straight ass. If you can dish it, take it. If you make terrible statements at one group, then get terrible statements back, you're both terrible. Even if one is worse than the other, you're both still redeemable. Mostly. Except the people who actually violate others. You get where I'm going with that. So, what do I want to put you on? This is what I want to leave with you. Don't let people who've experienced trauma use that trauma as permission to treat you terribly. Don't let bad behavior stop you from caring about real issues. And don't let misandry, actual misandry, turn you from supporting women. And to the people in that Call of Duty lobby, I get it. Your mic gets clowned on, probably often, and you were tired of it. That's understandable. But that doesn't mean strangers are obligated to buy you a new one. And also, I get that you've been through some terrible situations. And maybe some of the people that you cared about were also in terrible situations. But you and the people that you care about should have never been put through that. But at the same time, it definitely doesn't make a joke in a video game lobby turn into a feminism crisis. I'm sorry what you've been through, not what was said in response to your unreasonable ass request. A joke is not the same as objectification. Jokes about objectification aren't funny. Know the difference. I upload regularly, do what you want with that information. It's been Bean Burrito, game is game.